As you guys know, there are violent protests and riots spreading throughout America right now, and unfortunately, I think that what we have seen thus far might just be the beginning. Because I think that things are going to really heat up and get even worse this weekend, especially on Saturday. There's nationwide protest planned, and all of the big Hollywood celebrities are even promoting it as well. So get ready for a lot of nonsense. Get ready for a lot of disgusting behavior to be put on display. And look, we've already seen our fair share of disgusting things. We've already seen our fair share of alarming images. But by far, what I think is the most alarming thing about these violent riots and protests, and about any violent riots and protests, don't get me wrong, you got people burning the flag, you got people looting, you got all types of stuff going on, and all of that is bad. But the worst thing to me is when these protesters block traffic or stand in front of people's cars, start banging on their cars, jumping on their cars, stomping on them, and all of that stuff. I find it really alarming because in a lot of places, when you're stuck in that situation, legally, you're not supposed to do anything. I remember during the BLM riots in 2020, I watched plenty of people get charged, go to jail for years for simply trying to save their own lives, when they get caught randomly, by a violent mob as they're trying to maneuver through the city. I saw it over a dozen times. People get arrested. The protesters, the rioters don't get arrested. But if you're in your car and the violent rioters start attacking your car and you drive through them, oh boy, you're going to jail, right? So I find that extremely disgusting because some people have lives. I don't know about all of you, but I think it's safe to say that most of you got things going on. I got bills to pay. I know you guys got bills to pay. People got to go to work. People got to get from here to there, right? So it's not like you can always avoid getting stuck in one of these situations. And if you're someone that is just trying to get from point A to point B, and all of a sudden your vehicle gets swarmed by a violent mob, you should be able to drive to safety. Well, in places like California, I don't think you can. But luckily, down in Florida, there's a whole nother story. In fact, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, just released a statement because, these protests are starting to spread everywhere. There was even protest in Tampa. But Ron DeSantis released a statement letting people know, hey, if violent protesters and rioters try to stop your vehicle, if they stand in front of your car, if they make you feel threatened, if they're acting out violently, stopping you from going somewhere, you could just drive right through them. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
And we also have a policy that if you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets. You have a right to defend yourself in Florida.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you live, you might not be used to it, but that's what a competent governor looks like or sounds like. You see, on one hand, we have Gavin Newsom. People are blowing up cars in the middle of the street. People are destroying and looting sushi stores in downtown LA. Of course, the Adidas store and the Apple store got looted. Cars are just getting blown up left and right. But Gavin Newsom is telling everyone it's peaceful. All of you are safe. Everything is okay. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here. That's what Gavin Newsom is saying, right? As people's lives are being put in danger, as their livelihoods are put in danger, as their businesses are put in danger, Gavin Newsom has done absolutely nothing but tell people, hey, it's okay. Don't worry, guys. Meanwhile, over here in Florida, things haven't gotten bad here in Florida, but the governor is going ahead and letting people know, hey, if things get bad, if stuff starts happening like what you see in LA, and these violent protesters try to mob your vehicle and jump on your vehicle and yank you out of your vehicle, you can go ahead and drive right through them. Go ahead and roll them right over. And I think that is the right thing. If you're putting me in danger, imagine you with your kids in the back of a car. And you're trying to go to freaking Dairy Queen or something. Maybe you're trying to take your kids to daycare. And all of a sudden, a bunch of people with no jobs and no lives and no purpose on planet Earth are just jumping on top of your vehicle, trying to yank you out of your car. You know, because they support illegal immigrants or whatever the hell the current thing is. You know, during the BLM riots, I watched like old men get yanked out of their car and just brutally beaten up for no reason other than they were trying to go somewhere and the rioters decided, no, we're not going to let you. So yeah, allowing people to just go ahead and plow right through these people, yeah, I think that's the most logical thing. Because I don't care what you're protesting and rioting about, you do not have the right to put someone's life in danger, stand on their car and smash their windshields in, and me as the vehicle owner or operator, I'm supposed to just sit here and allow it to happen. I'm just supposed to sit here so just to make sure you guys don't get injured. I have to sit here and allow my car to be destroyed, and I have to get yanked out of the car and jumped by a violent mob to avoid getting charged if I decide to drive my vehicle away from you guys and one of you guys get hurt or ran over. It's crazy. It's crazy, but that's the difference between California and Florida. Florida ain't playing no games. And some of the local sheriffs have already come out and let people know, like, hey, the stuff you see in LA, the stuff you see happening there is not going to be allowed to happen here. One of these sheriffs literally went off and said, hey, you throw bottles at us, you hit us and do all of this stuff, we're going to shoot you. He literally said it, I kid you not. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
Folks, it's like we're living in two different countries. The differences between Florida and California, you know what? Screw different countries. It's like we're living in a totally different reality. Like I said, on one hand, you see cars burning in the middle of the streets, people running around, smashing in businesses, looting, throwing Molotov cocktails at officers and bricks at their cars, throwing fireworks at police horses. Not much is being done. And the governor is saying, hey, everything's okay, folks. Everything's peaceful. Meanwhile, in Florida, nothing bad and nothing crazy has even happened yet, but they're just saying, hey, straight up, we will kill you graveyard dead. I don't even think I've ever heard anyone say that before. We will kill you graveyard dead. Okay? Just to let you know, like, not just to kill you, no, you will be graveyard dead. We'll sick one of our big, beautiful dogs on you. Man. I just wonder, if they had someone out there in California talk like this, I wonder how long it would take for things to get under control. Send some of these people from Florida to California. Send Ron DeSantis. Let Ron DeSantis governor. Let him govern over California for a couple of months. Send the sheriffs who make videos like this one. And let's see how long it takes them to get California under control. I don't think it would take them that long. I really don't. I think a lot of people in California also, they desperately want things to be taken under control. I think that they're tired of living amongst the lawlessness and the craziness, because California is still a beautiful place. There's a lot of ugly things going on, but it's a beautiful state. And I wish that we could reclaim it from the craziness that has, just engulfed it for as long as I've been alive, for sure. But I just wanted to make this video to show you guys the differences between, the different states here. Depending on where you live, that's the crazy part about America. Depending on where you live, it's like you just live in an entirely different country. The differences between places like NYC and Florida and California and West Virginia, it's crazy. It's crazy for sure. But one thing about it, Florida is not playing any games. I would not want to run into that sheriff. You guys let me know what you think about this, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.